Welcome to Unmuted Podcast with our amazing host and author, Rasia Kaba. In a noisy world, we cut through the chatter, amplifying important voices. Are you ready for raw, unscripted stories that shape our daily lives? Well, on Unmuted, we tackle tough topics, challenge the norms, and share untold stories. Each episode, we bring in thought leaders, influencers, and everyday heroes for genuine conversations. It's not just a podcast. It's a platform for real, raw, expressive conversations. Get ready for the emotions, laughters, and most of all, the truth. Unmuted is more than just a show. It's a movement. So join us as we break the silence to embrace the power of honest dialogue. Welcome to Unmuted, where conversations are real.
Welcome to the Unmuted Podcast. I am your host, Rasia Kaba. Unmuted meets silent battles. Two powerful voices, one unforgettable conversation, real stories, and healing. Welcome to the Unmuted Podcast. Today, we are joined by Daneshia Drakeford, an actress, writer, and author who has spent years captivating audiences on screen. But her most powerful road has been living her truth. Danisha is the author of Silent Battles, where she opens up about her journey through life's challenges, including a multiple sclerosis diagnosis, divorce, caregiving, and becoming a mother against all odds. After years of carrying those experiences in silence, she made the decision to speak up her story and walk in her truth. To speak up on her own story and walk in her truth. Today, she's joining us to talk about faith, resilience, healing, and what it looks like to overcome life challenges. Danisha, welcome to the Unmuted Podcast, love. Hey, girl.
Good evening. Good evening, Rasia. How are you?
I'm good.
Look what I have
I
on.
know, Unmuted. Man, first of all, let me apologize to our folks. It has been rough back here. I don't know what happened earlier. If you guys noticed, we came live and we had to leave because something happened. I can't tell you what. That's my first time it ever happened. And so I had to create a whole new show and I had to put in all the information. And now I'm messing up my girl's bio, But the devil is a lie. We are here on Muted Meet Silence Battle, and I am grateful to have you here, my girl. You look amazing. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you for having me, Rasia.
You are welcome.
Pleasure's all mine.
And everyone, feel free to join us, send in your comments, and be a part of the show. I'm a little distracted because I'm still trying to fix things back here, but the show must go on. So Danisha, tell us a little bit about yourself, just a little peek, because your bio wasn't all explained the way I wanted to, being that we had interruption. So who is Daneshia Drakeford?
Okay, Daneshia Drakeford is a woman. Honestly, let me just start off first and foremost. Silent battle. So let me just go back to several of my friends always said if they ever wanted a secret kept, to tell Danisha. So I am a woman that is very private. So me even coming up or even being an author of Silent Battles, the grace of God, he gave me the strength and the courage to do it. When I tell you I'm one of the most private people you would ever come across, I am. And it took a lot for me to actually share. And the only reason I was saying I did everything in silence because I thought at that present time, silence was a sign of strength until, I found out otherwise. I am so happy that as of now, living with multiple sclerosis and everything else, all my other silent battles, I can't tell you too many of them because it's in the book.
Not yet. We're gonna jump into it in the middle. We're gonna jump
But
into it. Yeah.
I've been banged up a lot. The grace of God, I was able to break the chains and now just have the courage and the strength, to finally tell my story. And I tell everyone, even if it saves one life or one soul, my job is done. It's no longer my story. It's our story.
Okay, so all right. So with that being said, you have been, acting, you have been very successful as an actress. But your personal story, like you said, is just as powerful. So what made you decide to tell your story after all this time?
Well, living with multiple sclerosis, I would say 20 years now, and I've been living so well. I mean, I had my hiccups here and there, been on disability several times, several things done happened to me. But what made me do it at this present time, because I mean, besides the multiple sclerosis, caregiving for my mother that have Parkinson's, life just lifing, married, had a divorce. So many things that just done happen that I'm like, you know what? Enough is enough. And it was to the point where I didn't even know if I was going to be able to push through. Because every day, I'm not going to lie to you, every day I push through, I push through, I push through. It's times I don't even feel like getting out of bed, but I push through. So
Yeah.
this, what made me honestly just come out, because I mean, I just was at my last straw. And the grace of God, I was able to push through like I always do. And, several times I was trying to go to sleep and I just would keep hearing this inner voice and it just wouldn't leave me. And it was him. He was keep saying, daughter, I need you to tell your story. I need you to tell your story. You've been through a lot. I know you think being silent and hiding behind the mask, is the right thing to do, but I need you to tell your story. And, it was just, it was, I would say for months.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
For months, I just was like, I couldn't shake it, like in the middle of the night, I still hear that inner voice. Danisha, you need to tell your story. Danisha, you doing so well. This is not a sign of weakness. This is a sign of strength. I really need you to tell your story. And like I said, it's several different things that done happen. I mean, a lot of my battles are in my book. But so many things done happen, and the grace of God, I was able to walk out of them, walk out, no scratches, so I felt like this was the perfect time, just to let everything out. And, and the grace of God, so many people done came up to me and told me how my story actually motivated them, and they didn't feel alone. I just was tired of not even just MS survivors, people in general. The reason why I even called my book Silent Battles, because at the end of the day, we all have silent battles. So I just thought it was rated E for everyone, because we all have silent battles. It's just I'm the one that's telling my silent battles at this present time. And I just didn't want everyone to feel alone, because it was times I felt like I was alone. And, and you're never alone. You're never alone. And if God put you to it, he put you through it.
You are right. You are right. And I can resonate with you a little bit because, I'm on mute there. So on mute and silent battle, same, we can relate, right? As we
Absolutely.
start to talk at the event in Philly the last time, similar, different, but we have similarity, and the title is very similar. So like you said, it was hard, but you kept hearing the voice of telling your story. And it's that thing where it's like something is making you feel so uncomfortable, like you just have to do this, you have to do that, like you are being called for it. And so you have to hear that inner voice, knowing that God is telling you to do, to tell your story, because your story will help somebody. So during that time, what was the hardest part when you decided to tell your story? What was the hardest part about writing Silent Battle?
The
Please,
hardest
go
part,
answer.
I'm sorry, the hardest part, like I said, all my friends, they always say, if you want a secret to be held and kept, tell Danisha. The hardest part was just being like, this is the most vulnerable I ever been in my life. And just sitting in it, just knowing that as I'm writing as I'm writing the pages, as I'm flipping through the pages, I'm like, at this point in my life, wow, people is going to know more about me than I'm going to ever know about them, and they're going to know more about me even before I meet them. Or I'm like, I never been this vulnerable and never been this open. And it was times when I was writing, I closed the book, I'm like, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this. And I was like, because one, just even living with MS, and as long as I've been living with MS, people look at that as a handicap, which, I mean, to a certain degree, it can be. I tell everybody it's the snowflake disease. Everyone lives different. And I didn't have my ups and downs, but I can say the grace of God, I've been living very well. And I just didn't want people to tell me that I can't, I won't, and, that I just can't do stuff. I didn't want that label on me. So the hardest thing for me was to just break the chains and just just pretty much air out all my dirty laundry, because I never did it. Half of the world, half of coworkers, family members, friends didn't even know I had MS. Half of them didn't know about the divorce. Half of them didn't know pretty much anything that was in my book. Right. So it was, I mean, I don't regret it. But that was the hardest thing I had to do, is just being vulnerable and sitting in that, and just knowing that everyone is going to know everything about me before I know, anything about them.
Yes. And well, that's the life of an author. That's the life of of someone who God has chosen, because not everyone has a story, but not everyone will be able to tell their story publicly like you or like me, like authors. So I know that I had the same struggle like you, and I had the same concerns, because I'm very private. Anybody know me, they know I'm very private. You have to cut deep down to find something if I don't want to tell you. So I know what you're talking about. When you think about those things, that everyone gonna know your business, everyone gonna know what happened to you, and some people may use it against you, and some people may use it for empathy. Some people, people will use it for whatever they want. But when you reach a place where God has given you that comfort, you know that God wants you to tell your story. All those worries leave, because it's no longer about you. He's just using your story to help somebody else. So in that moment when you feel like, okay, this might be my story, but it's no longer about me, I have to use my story to help somebody, because there's somebody that's going through your situation. There's someone that's going to listen to your story, and it's going to inspire them to say, wow, I'm not alone. I'm going through this. She's going through it, and she can be on a podcast and talk about it. She can write a book about it. She doesn't even look like what she's going through, And so I can do the same. It can give them power to want to wake up and be better, So when people are telling that story, I like to tell people, don't take it lightly when someone has chosen to make themselves vulnerable to the world, because we're talking about the world. This is not a little church scene. This is not a house meeting. This is the world. Silent Battle is all over the world now. If they Google you, they can find you everywhere. So someone wants to know your weakness and your strength, voila, just go to the internet. You will see what her day-to-day life is. That alone, just the thought of it is like, whoo. Even a guy wants to date you, he Google you, he's going to know you before he meets you, So it's like it happens all the time with me. I be trying to hide my phone number. I don't want to give my real number to people because you know how when you put people number in your phone, Facebook get all nosy and they start
Yes.
connecting the dots. It
Yes.
makes me nervous. So now I'm creating different numbers that's not in my name so I can give it to people because I don't want people to meet me before they get to know me. You know, I
Exactly.
want you to know who I am before you know my whole business. And that's the whole thing of being in the public eye. So the fear is there. But the grace of it all is that even with all those concerns that we have, our story is helping so many people. It's helping so
Amen.
many people.
Amen.
And that gave me grace. That just gave me peace. When I wake up knowing that it's not about you, Ricia. Yes. You told your story. Yes, people know about you. People know this happened to you, but it's beyond that. You know, somebody is so think about that. Somebody is really, you know, being able to live their day because of you telling your story. And so thank you. Thank you for choosing to do so because it's not easy. Um, how has your journey changed the way you approach life purpose today?
Well, like I said, MS is one of the top three of the silent battles I done had. But I would just say, honestly, they always say you never know how strong you are until you actually have to go through the storm. Racia, when I tell you everything, even the MS to, even just all the car accidents I done been in. I done been in, I mean, probably over 9 or 10, pedestrian, you name it. One of my friends told me, I'm like a cat. I have 9 lives, literally. It's like just so many things, like, and every single time, like when you're going through the storm, you don't see the end of you don't see the end of the light. You don't see the rainbow. And every single battle I went through, I'm like, holy smokes, like I just always thought it couldn't get worse until you get hit with the next battle. And I'm like, okay, it couldn't get worse. And then you get hit with the next battle. So it definitely taught me, like, Danisha, give yourself some grace. You're actually stronger than you think you were. And I don't regret it. Like every single battle, including my MS, I always say, you know what? Instead of, I'm not going to lie, in the beginning, I'm like, Lord, why me? I've always been a good person, good heart. Always been more of a giver than a receiver. Never really got sick. Haven't threw up in 13, 14 years. I'm like, why me? Healthy. And, it's like now I'm like, why not me? I'm like, it can always be worse. And then I see other people that live with MS or just other battles I went through. And I see that, they didn't come out as well as I did. So sometimes I actually even have the survivor guilt. I'm like,
Mm.
just when you think that you going through the worst, and it can't get it can't get no worse. You always, the next day, or God see, he'll make sure that you see that the grass always look greener on the other side, and that it can always be worse. So as everything I went through, the MS, everything, divorce, caregiving, everything that I've been through, I got from it that, you know what, Danisha, you got this. If I put you to it, I'm gonna put you through it. And he always do. And at the end of the day, this is what I need you to do. This is, they always say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him what you're about to do. Or,
Mhm.
we are planned, and he are unplanned. It just taught me that, one, to give myself grace more, and just know that, at the end of the day, I'm going to push through, and it can always be worse. So just thank God, for the situation that, he presented in front of you, and don't take it for granted.
Okay, you answer my next question. So you ahead of me, girl. You're ahead of me. Because for the people listening, I was gonna tell you how what keep you going through, all of these things, the diagnosis, the divorce, the caregiving, how you get through your day to day. If you just want to emphasize on it a little bit more, that's fine. For the people listening, because you are battling a lot of stuff, there's a lot. When people see they don't see your struggle. And so some people may have one of your issue and think that the world has given up on them and they feel so bad for themselves. But sometimes you have to listen to other people's story for you to appreciate God, for you to appreciate your own life. I'm telling you, you
Absolutely.
know, sometimes you really have to, like, some people, you have to go to the hospital to appreciate life. You have to go to the
Absolutely.
nursing homes to appreciate life. You have to go pay a visit to the prison to appreciate life. Life is life in out here. I work in the medical field and I go from clients to clients. And some days I just sit in my car and say, thank you, Jesus. What was I complaining about again? You know,
Exactly.
you think you
Yeah.
have problems until you see somebody or hear somebody's problem. So it's important that we uplift our neighbors, because some people just don't get it. They don't get it until they see it or they hear it. So if you want to emphasize on that a little bit with everything you are going through, how Danisha able to wake up, be Danisha, go to work, be normal. People can't even see it. How do you do it?
Care for my son, active 7-year-old. The grace of God, I can't take none of the credit, and people used to, a couple people I say that to, they used to laugh at me, like, well, Denise, you got to take some of the credit. Nope, nope, nope. I'm not taking none of the credit. The grace of God, I'm able to do it. Racia, when I tell you, and yes, I'm an actress, but, I'm a paid actress. So I'm like, everything I'm telling you is, don't take it with a grain of salt. Like when I tell you, literally, it's times I would pay top dollar for somebody to come and get my son ready for school, make him breakfast, drive him to the bus stop, just take him to karate, help him with his homework. It's times when I don't even know how I got out of bed. It's, because I suffer. So everybody's symptoms are different with MS. I suffer, my 3 main symptoms are chronic fatigue, chronic insomnia, and I have bowel problems sometimes, or frequent urgency to pee. And yeah, those are the ones I suffer from. I have others, the tingling and the numbness, but those are I would say the top 3. And the crazy thing is with mine, I'm like, I'm the first one to get up, and well, the last one to go to bed and the first one to get up. So
Mm.
besides the therapy that I'm on, because I self-inject once a week with a needle, besides just having MS period, that makes you fatigued. Then I have the insomnia. So even if I tell everybody, even if I'm tired after a hard day at work, or, caring for my mother, caring for my son, I can't go to sleep. No matter how tired I am. And then if I do go to sleep, it's not a sound sleep. It might be maybe tops 5 hours, but it's not a top 5 hours sound sleep. I'm waking up looking at the ceiling, or I'm just waking up for no reason, and then I go back to sleep. I did the sleep study, try everything under the sun, and nothing worked. Nothing worked. That's I would say insomnia, fatigue. Those are 2 of the major symptoms with people that have MS. You suffer from, no matter how many, and even the ones that do sleep, no matter how many hours of sleep you get, it's still never going to be enough. And then, it's just the trying to show up for everybody, or, I have so many people, or you don't look sick, or you don't act sick, or how was you able to come to this event, but you can't come to this event? So it's just the grace of God. That's all I can say. And just pushing through. I'm like, if it's not that, sometimes just the pain, or just the brain fog, or just sometimes the joints, the tingling. I mean, that's why they call it multiple sclerosis, because multiple things can happen. It's 1,000,001 different symptoms, and I try not to blame MS for everything, because some of the symptoms everyday people get, but I get a lot. And I tell everybody, just like putting fuel on a fire. Oh, I'm tired too, or I had a long day too. And I'm like, if you want me to stop talking to you, I'm like, challenging me or trying to compare the sleep and the thing. I'm like, that's the quickest way to do it. Cause and I get mad, but as I'm getting older, I'm like, you know what? When you know better, you do better. But I used to hate when people try to challenge me and say, Danisha, I know your schedule is crazy, or I know life is lifing with you, but come with me, or I know you're tired, but you could push through. You just pushed through last week. Why you can't push through today? And, I tell them, like, listen, I mean, I didn't ask for this. I'm like, I wake up every day sick. So I can't tell you. Sometimes, yes, I might be able to push through, but sometimes I can't. And don't crucify me for not being able to show up for that day. Just try to think of all the other days or, times I showed up. And it's times where I feel bad. I'm like, I don't want to cancel on plans, or I don't want to wake up feeling like this, but I have to go from most important to least important. And I'm at the point now, whoever can accept that, I don't know what to tell you. But
yes, and that's that. And you got it. Don't feel pressure to do what you can't do, because it's almost like you don't control your own life. You may want to do something tomorrow. What if you wake up and don't feel like doing it? It's no one should even compare themselves with someone that's going through a life battle, because you don't know how that is. It's different when we just get up and don't feel like doing nothing. Like, I just want to lay in this bed and be lazy today. That's different. That's a choice you make. But for you, situation like that, you don't have a control over that. You may want to do it, but you just can't, because you're being controlled by something else. And if somebody loves you, people around you, family, friends, they have to understand that. And like you said, if they don't, then they don't. But you can't beat yourself up. Don't shrink to make people happy or comfortable. Don't strain yourself to do that. You have been through a lot. You're still going through a lot. This is life. This is life. This is life. You accept it. And like you said, you feel the guilt. Sometimes you feel like some people with the same disease may be having it worse than you, but enjoy what you have and embrace the level of what that is, because everyone's different. But God doesn't put us through anything that we can't handle. So He got you here. Like I said earlier, you don't look like what you are going through. If you can open my heart to see, I feel so like I got you here, girl. I don't even know how to express my love and for just my care for you, because I can see it, that you try your best. Thank you so much, Angela. Face beat. Okay, you might need to beat my face, girl, someday. That's Danisha, makeup artist. She said, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here with us. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad.
And the crazy thing, it took me a long time to get to where I'm at. I don't feel bad no more. That was another thing that I suffered with, the people pleasing. And I'm like, thank God to MS, I can no longer be that people pleaser that I used to be and everything. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm like, because at the end of the day, you could be there 100%. That 1% you not, then they crucify you.
That's it. That's the whole point. That's why you can't please people, because you can be a yes girl all your life. And then one day you say no, that's the day you're going to be in trouble. That's it. That's the day you're going to be in trouble. It's like when you give into people and the day you say, I don't have it, now all of a sudden she's mean or she just don't want to do it, but they won't talk about the time that you strain yourself to give it to them. So I love people, I care about people, but I have learned that you can't please everyone. And the right people will always remain. Trust me, whether you do it for people or not, the ones that truly love you will stay. You don't have to buy love. You don't have to buy attention. You don't have to buy company. If you're giving, people will stay in your life just for that. Try to say no sometime and see who you're really dealing with.
Oh, look, say it again. Okay. I learned the hard way.
Say no. Saying no, don't feel guilty for saying no. Sometimes you could have it. Just say no. just
Yep.
because you want to test people's character. I'm very good with that. I have learned to say no just to see. Like, I don't owe you my life in the first place. Like, come on. Nobody owed me nothing. You don't have to do anything for me, and so am I. But we do things out of kindness. And sometimes people take advantage of your kindness. And sometimes we want family so bad, we want friendship so bad, we want relationships so bad that we go out of our way just to please people. And I did that all my life, and it did not get me nowhere. At some
It'll
point,
get you too far.
it got me here. I'm unmuted. Okay. That's a reason why we are here, right?
Well, yeah. My battles are no longer silent.
Thank you so much, Angela. Thank you for your compliment. I appreciate that. That's why we are here. Silent battle means unmuted.
Yeah. Look, my silent battles are no longer. My silent battles are unmuted now.
Okay. So moving forward. So you have experienced divorce.
Yes.
You know, I have experienced divorce. And being unmuted for me was part of that. You know, I went through a lot in my life. You know, I experienced a lot of childhood trauma. I experienced a lot of things growing up, a lot of battles that I fought behind closed doors that nobody knew of, things that happened to me that I could not share because I was ashamed and I did not know who would take it, you know, the right way, because especially from where I'm from, the things that I talk about in my book are normal. I would say they are normal because nobody do anything about them. You know, it's like, what make you any different? You know, so you telling us this happened to you, okay, get over it. You know, you're not the first one, you won't be the last one. So those type of things, when you go through those life challenges and you come to a place where you now have the space to tell your story and not feel ashamed and not feel scared. You know, you can speak freely, you can be transparent and just live in your truth, you know, live in your truth. I did not start living till I told my story. Before, I was just existing. I wasn't living because I had so much within me that I really thought I was going to go to the grave with, you know, that I was never going to be able to tell. And God said, no, this story will be told because it's not just about you, it's about a lot of people. A lot of people can learn from you, like I said about your story earlier. So being unmuted has really given me a different meaning of life, different meaning of purpose. I'm living in my purpose, walking in my purpose, being able to just express myself. I mean, sometimes I look at myself and be like, dang, girl, you come from not talking to just all over the place talking. Everybody tell me that. Like, Jesse was like, damn, I could not get one word out of you. And now you just like all over the place. I don't know what to do with you. And that's God, yo. That's God. I'm so confident within myself. Now I'm like, bring it on. I'm here. I got you. I'm unmuted. Like, what more can you do? Like, let's go. So it's beautiful when you get to a place where you can just own, you own your challenges, own your life, own your struggle. Just live in it. Just embrace it. Because if it didn't happen to you, who should it happen to? Why not you? You know? So embrace it. You are still here for a reason, which means God is not done with you yet. So embrace it. It did not kill you. So embrace it, but use it to help other people. So with that being said, since you are unmuted, what does being unmuted mean for you, Danisha?
Same thing. Look, I'm just going to piggyback off some of the stuff you just said. When I tell you, so always been a chatty Cathy. So I always had the gift for gab, always network, especially being in the industry. And then aside from acting, modeling, now author, and well, now I'm actually executive producer too. I have a film coming out. Okay. But yes, that we'll talk about that next time. But I've been working customer service 30 years. The company I'm with now, I currently been with them for 26 years. I work at the customer service. I am customer service. So I'm dealing with customers all the time. Like I said, 30 years in total. I've been at my current job, doing customer service 26 years coming up this year. So I've always been in front of people, and I'm used to talking, the gift of gab, putting on a different mask, the yes, ma'am, yes, sir, just trying to give the best customer service. So I have always had the gift of gab, but it was always surface talk. It wasn't never telling them about my personal life and the silent battles and the struggles I was going through. It was always the bubbly Danisha, the Hollywood Danisha, or just the people pleaser Danisha. They didn't know about the MS Danisha. They didn't know about the divorce Danisha. They didn't know about, me having to see my mother, just get weaker and weaker day by day. They never seen this side of Danisha. This is the best, honestly, this is the best I done felt in years. I love that, and the crazy thing is I thought I was going to regret it, but I love, like you said, just none of my battles are no longer silent. The first, my book was published. It came out to the public. It was open to the public in October. And I'm not going to lie, up until maybe like the third week of January, I was like, oh my goodness, I think I made the worst mistake ever. Especially I had almost like 100 people at my book signing. And a lot, I would say maybe 40 of them was my coworkers. And the flip side of this is not one coworker at my event knew I had MS. Not one. So, when even some family members that was there, a couple of my cousins came up to me and was like, Danisha, I didn't even know you had MS. I was like, I know. I was like, hello, this is my way of coming out to the world. Hello, world.
Yeah, right?
So, it just, so many people came up to me. I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, you don't have to be sorry. They came up to me crying, giving me a hug. I didn't know if I treated you any type of way or if I pushed you, I apologize. And I'm like, no. That's why I didn't want everybody to know, because I didn't want this. I'm like, I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. I'm just happy that now I'm able to share this with you guys. I feel like this is the happiest I've been in years. Just no more of the people pleasing, no more of the, like I said, I always had a gift of gab, but it wasn't, everybody just seeing the bubbly Danisha, because eliminate that. I'm a happy-go-lucky person. I'm not the type of person that, wear my emotions on my sleeve. I can be going through, I could just been hit by a tornado and you'll never know. If you call me for advice, I'll still smile, I'll laugh, hang up with you, and go back to crying. I'm like, that's the type of person I am. So it's a wonderful thing. And I give God all the credit. I'm like, he told me to do it, and he never lied when he said he give you double for your trouble. My life, 3 weeks later, after I had my book signed, and my life haven't been the same. And I love it. I was like, I feel as now I'm living in my purpose. This has been the happiest I done felt in a long time. I love that people that done read the book, some of them read it within a day, call me telling me, wow, I didn't know how they took certain battles that they was actually going through. And they said, wow, just when I felt like I was alone, now I know I wasn't. And, just congratulating me, saying, Danisha, wow, like, I'm just in awe. Like, how did you do it and still pull it together, still walk how you walk, talk like how you talk, still show up, still, a lot of them just was in awe, or just a couple of people that had other illnesses or going through a divorce or thinking about a divorce. They said I inspired them. So it just was, I'm like, wow. I'm like, God, you're right. Like, so many people done told me I needed this. Or, wow, Danisha, if I can see you go through this, wow, and you still do everything with a smile, wow, like, I don't feel alone. And that's what I wanted everybody to take away from Silent Battles. You're never alone. You're never alone. Just when you think you have it bad, is someone out there 10 times worse than you. And, if God put you to it, he put you through it. Just keep your faith and just keep pushing, because life is always going to be life, and adulting is always going to be adulting, and it can always be worse. So just take what you have and just be thankful, because it can always be worse. God can take the little that you think you have and give you even 10 times less.
Right.
So just, yes. So,
and you took me somewhere when you said, people didn't know, and some people started to apologize for something they may not have even done, right? This is why, as human, we have to treat people with kindness, whether we know what they are going through or not. Be nice to people.
Be kind to everyone, because you never know.
You never know what someone is going through. And then you hear something down the line, you start to feel bad. You start to feel guilty because maybe you spoke to them wrongly. Or maybe that particular thing they are going through, you use it against them. You didn't even know they were going through it. Divorce can be very traumatizing. The illness you're going through, no one could have known you had it, right? And someone could have said something offensively to you, and you just don't know. So if you see someone not doing good today, maybe they're not in a good mood, if you can say hi and what can I do for you, do it. If you can't, the old people say, if you don't have nothing nice to say, keep it quiet.
Yes, don't say nothing at all.
Don't say anything. Just keep going. Don't talk to me. Don't say hi, bye, none of that. Just let me be. But don't make my problem worse by trying to figure out, why is she like that? Why is she so mean? Like, that could even set somebody off. You just don't know. So be kind, because your kindness may just help someone to not take your life that day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Your kindness can make someone to go home and appreciate life for one more day. But you being mean can make someone could have been thinking about suicide, right? And you just made it worse for them by being mean. You just proved them why they should not be here in the first place.
Absolutely.
So we got to learn how to be nice. The world is bad enough. So many things is against us already. So we have to love on one another and just be nice. It's not hard to be nice. It's harder to be mean. The energy you have to put into being nasty and mean to people, if you can just take a little bit of that and be nice, it will really do good, because niceness don't pay. It doesn't pay to be nice, but it may cost you a lot to be mean at times. It may cost you a lot, so it's a beautiful thing for us to be able to share our story and to just have other people I'm not looking up to you per se, but just to see your strength and know that life is
resilience, strength and resilience, and just yes.
It just makes someone to say, wow, I should appreciate life, because if she going through this, she can show up to work every day. What am I complaining about? Like I said earlier, what am I complaining about? I can walk. I can use my two hands. I can literally book a flight right now and be in a different country if I want to. Not everyone can do that.
Nope.
So if the paycheck did not look good last week, so be it. Don't be mad or think that life is done. If you have some headache today, you can't do something, that's fine. Just go to the gym, do something, help yourself. But I don't think it's that bad. Life it can't be that bad, because somebody is going through worse than you. It's always like that. There will be somebody with more money than you, somebody with more problem than you, somebody with more situation, more baby daddies, more baby mommy. Like, it's just somebody with more issue than you. So thank you, Danisha. With all that being said, I'm gonna move to a fun spot. Okay. So you and I was talking at the Galentine event.
Yes.
As a divorcee, single women enjoying life out here, being authors and being actresses and just living it up and working on red carpet and feeding yourself. Are you ready to love again, girl? Are you ready for that time?
No. No, it's so crazy, because everyone asks me that, and I tell you about, I'm single by choice now. However, no, I'm just not. I'm like, I'll be lying to you when I tell you, and look, I'm not gonna tell my age, but look, I'm no spruce chicken. I was like, this is the first time in years, I can't even go back to even tell you how many years, that I'm finally being able to just work on myself, pour into myself, invest in my growth, and don't feel no guilty, no people pleasing. Like, this is the, eliminate MS and everything else. This is, I would say, the best I done felt in a long time. And this is like right now, by my son being 7, he'll be 8 this year. It's like now he's starting to be a little more independent. Like I said, my mother, I help her, she still need assistance, but she's still able to do some things herself. So it's not like I'm waiting on her hand and foot. I was like, right now, I would say this is my time. It's like I feel it. God done showed it to me already. And I just feel it's dating right now. I would be selfish. I want to be a good girlfriend. I was like, I'm just so focused on just trying to live my purpose. God blew, some fresh, fresh air into my lungs. And it's like right now, I want to, whatever he want me to do. It's like right now, I'm the anchor, and I'm just willing to do whatever God has for me next. If he say, Danisha, hey, I want you to tomorrow go fly a plane, I'm going to fly a plane. It's like right now I'm living in my purpose, and right now I'm just being obedient. Whatever God want me to do right now, that's what I'm going to do. And I just love right now, it's not like I have a lot of time on my hand or energy, but the grace of God, he's making everything happen for me. I have a good support system, good people like you. I have positive people, and we all just trying to help one another instead of being like a barrel of crabs. I just love that, I'm around so many successful people, or so many people that's giving that hand, that's giving you that rope. So, you won't fall, so many people that's just willing to help. Because at the end of the day, I'm the type of person, I want to see everybody win, not just me. I want to see everybody win. And I just love that the community, my community that I have now, we all just want, no jealousy, because how
Yeah,
some women could be
right? To
catty.
just be
Yeah.
the
It's
only
like,
one winning.
yes, it's like everybody wants to be on the winning team. It's no pettiness. Like, we all want to win. We all trying to help one another out. When they say take one, preach one, or what I'm trying to say, the figure of speech. And we all just trying to help one another out. And honestly, I just feel as I'm the type of person, I'm all or nothing, is I'm black and white. It's no gray area with me. So I'm like, Nike, just do it. I'm all or nothing. And right now, I don't feel as I would be a good girlfriend, because I'm not giving anyone my all right now besides my son and my mom.
And that's
Those.
fair. That's fair. That's fair, because I was there before. I was there. I was there for 2 years. Well, probably over 2 years, because I just started to say, I'm ready to date. But um, you deserve it. You deserve to take time. Healing, I always tell people, healing doesn't have a destination. You can't wake up today and be like, I'm healed. It's a choice you make to keep working towards your healing. It's a choice. Every day you have to make that choice. I'm going to leave behind my trauma. I'm going to leave behind those things that were holding me back, those things that was making me feel like I wasn't enough, those things that were making me feel less than, those things that were making me feel like not getting out of bed. I'm going to put those things behind me, because they will always try to remind you of where you have come from, where you came from. Your past will always try to remind you, of yourself. So you have to continue that choice to heal from it. And part of the healing is to do other stuff that maybe you wasn't comfortable doing before. Keep yourself happy, keep yourself going. It starts with first it starts with self-love. Self-love. You have to learn how to love yourself. Part of my story is that I wasn't loving myself enough. I was always focused on loving other people, pouring into other people. I used to have this philosophy of just helping, especially men. And part of that was because I was trying to find love, the love that I did not get from my father. That gap that was left open, I was trying to fill it, because not having my own father in my life, I was always trying to get with men that will love on me, that will make me feel love, to get that man, to get that manly love, and that,
Yeah. The masculinity. Yeah.
masculine. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, but those people I kept looking for love through actually hurt me worse than the man that I was trying to replace. So at some point I realized I'm just giving myself, and everyone kept breaking me. And you don't see your trauma or those things until you are left with nothing at some point, where you can go flat on your face and you be like, wow. So I had that moment where I had nothing left in me, and I broke down, and I kept asking God, why me? I'm so nice. I'm doing for people. I want to see people happy. I'm building these men up, and they are walking away from me. I'm doing for these men. Why can't they just love me? Why can't you just love me when I give you my all? When I give you my honest, when I give you my, not just finances, but my love, my care, my support. I just want to see you happy. I don't even care what you had. I don't even want nothing from you. I just want you to love for me. So when you experience those type of things in life, at some point you give up on something called love. So when I went through my divorce, that was one of the hardest times for me when it comes to relationship. And so during that time, I was really broken, and love wasn't part of anything I could think of. Of course, that wasn't nothing I could think of. I hated what you call relationship, what you call men. I hated everybody. Like, don't talk to me. It became personal. Like, it was personal. You want to tell me you love me? Like, I'm blocking you. Like, you don't know me. You don't love me. You just want to hurt me again, But what we talk about, healing, is very important. Therapy is very important. Praying, being consistent into what you want, loving yourself, learning how to stay with yourself. Because one thing I have realized, Danisha, when you love yourself, when you have realized what real love is, anybody else that comes into your life has no choice but to love you that way, because they see you loving yourself. When someone can see you loving yourself, putting yourself first, have self-respect, have some dignity, do it right by yourself, put yourself first, they have no choice but to love you the same or even more. It's not selfish, it's not self-centered, it's loving you. Another thing with that, when you have a partner that loves you, that is pouring into you, it's an addition. Plus their love, minus their love, you have love, baby girl. You don't mind being alone. You don't mind living alone. You don't mind keeping your own company. I'm in a whole house here. My kids are not here. I'm still happy. When my kids are here, I'm happier. Yeah. I have a man. Okay, let's have some fun. I don't have a man. Good. I have peace. Like, dude, I don't need you to be happy.
No, I love it. Yeah.
I have learned to be by myself with myself. Me, myself, and I. And I'm not saying I don't want love. I want love. I love love. I love relationship. But if it's not genuine, if it's not bringing me peace, now I'm not saying I'm looking for men to give me peace, because I need to have my own peace. You need to have your own peace. We need our own peace. But my peace cannot be disturbed. So you cannot come disturb this peace, because I work hard for this peace. You can take it. You can disturb it. So the little sun I see, I'm letting you go. I'm going to be the first one to let you go before you even think about it, because I'm not allowing that interruption in my life, because I know how it feels, and I work hard for it. So when I ask you that question, thank you for saying that, because some people jump from relationship to relationship because people are Some people don't know how to be alone. Some people just have to have somebody, anybody, just to talk to somebody, just to go somewhere with somebody. I can't be in a house by myself. If you are that person, I'm not telling you what to do with your life, but please, my sister or my brother, learn self-love. Learn how to be alone. It's okay. It's a choice we make. Danisha said it. She's single by choice. I am single by choice right now. I'm ready. I think I'm ready to date because mentally, I think I can love somebody again. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, no. 2 years ago, no. Even a year ago, I wasn't fully there because I was focused on my, transition and everything. It was about me, not even my children. And I birthed those children. Okay? I was like, you coming with me or not? You good. I raise you. You have your own life. Live it. I pray for you. I'll pray for I'm not joking. I'll pray for you while I'm on the next flight. I'm cashing out next flight. Okay? Because I give my life to them kids, all of my life to them. Yes. All them useless men I have ever had in my life, I give them my life. It's time for me to live for me. It's not too much to ask for. At some point, you have to live for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm still here as mommy. Call me if you need me, but, you have to live for you. And so if I can do that with my own children, you think a man going to have a chance with me? If he wants to bring some mess into my life? Hell no. I want real partner. I want real relationship. I want someone I can love on because my love doesn't have limit. I love really deep. Anyone that knows me knows me. I don't love here and love here. When I'm with you, I'm with you. I'm like, you're right and die. Like, I'm figuring shit out. Whatever you need, baby, let's do it. I'm like that right and that chick, and we're going down, Bonnie
and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde, I'm putting all of mine into you, and I want you to put all of yours into me. I want us to fall and get up together. I want us to look back and be like, damn, girl, look where we came from. Damn, girl, you got me. I want you to feel secure. I got you. And I want the same. If I'm getting any less, I don't want it. I have 3 children. When I'm old, they can take care of me. I don't need no misery in my life. And I stand on that. So take your time. Don't feel pressure. When the time is right, it's going to happen. I'm ready to date. So we had like an episode a few weeks ago. It was about dating. We had 2 guys on. I don't know if you know them, but they are the brothers from BS and Brotherhood with Angela. They was here on the Omida podcast, and we talk about relationship. Actually, I'm going to have them back because we have a second episode that we have to continue to discuss. But it was so crazy because it was like, don't you have like side dudes? Like, don't you have dudes you're talking to? No, I don't. I don't keep dudes around just to chit chat. My time is too precious. I'm not here for good morning, sweetie. Good morning, beautiful. Like, I'm not here for that. Seriously. I'm not here for good morning, beautiful. How was your night? Now, how many times you gonna ask me good morning? How was your night? Like, dude,
how was your day? Yeah.
When are we buying our next property? Like, tell me something that can benefit me. Don't love bombing. I'm not here for love bombing. I'm not here to hear you beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. That's another thing. I don't need your confirmation. Like, seriously, I don't need the confirmation. Like, it's okay to tell your girl, your man, oh, you look cute today. Like, you look handsome today, it's okay. But now when we're dating or you just getting to know me and you're going to text me every morning, like, hi, beautiful. Like, dude, what else do you have to say? Like, I don't have time for this, So stuff like that. So knowing yourself and loving yourself comes with, this right here, this much confidence I have in me. And I know that God has somebody out there for me. because he has to be genuine. And so take your time. Don't rush into it. Don't allow anyone to make you feel guilty. Single life is beautiful. Enjoy it when you can. Yes, yes, yes. Enjoy single life as much as you can, because when you marry, you also want to enjoy that, right? You want to pour into
Absolutely.
you want to give your best to that. So no matter what position you are in your life, enjoy it. Enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy this single moment, because when I'm married, I don't know how to be married and single. You have a lot of married people that still living single,
Yeah, I
single
know.
life.
I know. I
Okay,
know.
yeah, married
Yeah.
and single, because they're doing their own thing. When I'm married, I'm married. So since I'm single, I'm gonna date them all. That's what the guys told me. They said date them all, Ricia.
Yeah.
So I'm
Date
trying
them
to do
all. Look, the best man win. Date them all.
date them all. I'm trying to date them all, and sometimes it's overwhelming, because
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm tired. Don't text me no more. Like, I'm tired. So it's fun. It's fun. So when you're ready, do it. Since you're not ready, take your time. I got you.
Yeah,
Um,
that's exactly what because before I got married, I did that. I dated them all. White collar, blue collar. I tell everybody
bring
the
it
only
on.
two, yeah, the only two professions I didn't date was a pilot and maybe I don't know. I dated them all. I was like yeah, I dated them all, and right now, like I said, I'm all or nothing. I'm that Bonnie and Clyde. I'm the one. Hey, I'm like, yeah, I'm a ride and die. And I just know I won't be able to give that time and energy. That I will want to, and I will feel like it was because I'm the type of person. Fear is fear. So I know that they will probably be pouring more into me than I'll be pouring into them, and that won't be fair.
And that
You
won't
know?
be fair. You
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
be ready to pour into another person.
Hmm.
You give what you give what you expect. You can
Yeah.
give less and expect more. So that's why you have to be ready. And so take your time, and Mr. Right will come when that time comes. And I'm taking my time, but I'm dating them all for now.
Look, and I don't blame. Look, I was there. I was there, and I was like, right now, I just love me. I just love myself, some me, and I just love where I'm at right now. I'm focused, and I'm living in my purpose, and the grace of God, I have, the energy and the strength and the time, to do so. So at this
Yes,
present time,
yes,
so.
yes. Thank you. Before we close, what will you say to someone who is quietly going through their own battles right now?
I would say, so I know a lot of people, they look at therapy as a sign of weakness. I would say therapy helped me a lot. I'm still in therapy now, therapy, God, of course, first, and let me take that back. God, first and foremost, prayer.
Mm-hmm.
You're never alone. God is always there. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
he got to help other people sometimes.
Right.
So it's
She
you
said
know,
you gotta help other
yeah,
people
you gotta
sometimes.
help other people sometimes. He like, just hold up, your situation is dire, but this person's situation is 10 times more, so he go from most important to least important sometimes too. But God is always there. I tell everybody the grace of God, that's why I'm still able to stand 10 toes down. Therapy and what I do, I'm a music person. Every genre, I tell everybody, I think honestly, music heals me a lot too. Like I love
Mhm.
music. I can listen to music all day, every day. Everybody's like, how are you an actress if you don't even watch TV? How did you even know your competition? I'm like, music got me out of so many just struts or me just not even know how I was going to pull through. Music, God, therapy, music, and
Music.
surrounding yourself around positive people that's trying to head in the same direction as you.
Mm-hmm.
Because my cup got so empty that I couldn't give no more. It was times I look, because I always been small, always been petite, always been skinny, but it was times I looked in the mirror and I didn't even know who I was anymore. I'm like, I couldn't even recognize myself. I gave to the point I couldn't give no more. If I gave any more, I probably would have been in the hospital. So, I'm like, I tell everybody, when you're going through it, just please let go, let God. Therapy, because sometimes, talking to a family member and friend, that don't do it. They either going to tell you their experience sometimes, which is not the best advice, or they'll tell you that you can't or you won't. Therapy is that third lens, and it's non-biased, and you don't have to worry about it leaving the room or leaving the phone, because a lot of people, do it via Zoom. God, pray, therapy, meditate, and just know that, in life, every situation that you thought you wasn't going to be able to handle, you did. You're still alive, and you did. And it's going to be more to come. So, I'm like, it is going to be more to come. And just know that if you got through the first battle, you'll be able to get through the next. And the grace of God, just pray. And if you feel as you need someone to help you or boost you up, or, just give you some good non-biased, help me out, Racia, non-biased advice. Yes, that's what therapy is for. And just surround you, or, just try to find a positive hobby. That helped out a lot too. A positive hobby. Surround yourself around good, positive people. No negative Nancy's.
No negativity. If it's not pouring into you, it doesn't need to be there.
Yes, absolutely.
If it's not pouring into you, and just because you know someone for 30 years don't mean nothing.
Yes.
Okay? Some people, it have to end.
Yeah.
Okay? You can meet someone today that has better intention for you than someone you've been knowing for 15, 20, 30 years.
Look, say it for the people on the back. Say it for the people on the back. Yep. It's like, some people is there for a reason or a season. Yep.
Constrain yourself to be friends with people, or even some family members, they got to go.
Yep.
You are family by blood. You don't have to be stuck with someone if they're not bringing you peace. Absolutely. Said it. Yes. Tell them she said it. I said it. I don't mind anyone cutting me off. If I'm not bringing you peace, if I'm not bringing values to you, if I'm not uplifting you, I'm not being, positive in your life, don't keep me around. You can love me from far. Because guess what? I'm going to love you from far if it was in my case. Because we have done that. We do that a lot. We keep negative energy around. We keep people around that's not doing no good for us. Like I said earlier, learn to say no sometimes and see people real character. Learn to push people to a distance. If you are kiki kaka with people all the time, you will never get to know the real person. Even your own partner in relationship. If you don't get to argue, you will never know that man and how far he can go to be disrespectful. Get on his nerves. See if he still respects you. Get on his nerve, like his last nerve. Like, I'm not saying disrespect him, but like get on his nerve. Don't be sweet every time. See how he can still love you outside of yourself, because you're just trying to see their strength. Mm-hmm. If everything is always good with friendship, you don't get to see who you are dealing with, And because that's life. When people are mad, they can show you their real self. When people are not happy, when things are not going on right, maybe somebody lost their job, right? Maybe your husband lost his job, and you, his wife, you should support, right? Because, he lost his job. It's not like he just decided not to work. You should be able to help him in that process. He will see a different side of you. Wow, she got me. But if you never lost your job, how you know this woman will be there for you when you don't have it? I'm not saying go lose your job on purpose. I'm setting example. If things are always nice, you can never get to know people for who they are. Trust me, I got to know my partner when things started to shake. All right. And I'm sure he got to know me on some levels that he wasn't expecting either. Yeah. And that's just that. So don't always be so nice. Sometimes just be mean. Don't speak to nobody. See what they're gonna say. No, I'm not. I'm just playing. I'm playing. Don't be mean to nobody. Be nice.
Be kind. Remember, that's what we
Be
talked about
kind.
earlier.
Be
Being kind.
kind. Just be
Yes.
kind. I'm always kind, but my eyes are open. One eye always open.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, all right, guys. This conversation with Danisha is a reminder that not every battle is same, but that doesn't make it any less real. You know, you have been through a lot. Her journey shows us what it looks like to keep going, to find strength in the middle of pain, and to choose healing when it is hard. I hope you got that. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones fighting battles quietly. And even in those silent moments, there are still power. Danisha, I cannot thank you enough, girl, for sharing your story with the Omida community today. Thank you so much for being vulnerable to do that. And to everyone watching, thank you for tuning in to the Omida podcast. Your voice matters and your healing matters. Your story deserves to be heard. Now, if this conversation touched you and you would like to share your story or be a guest, email us at letsgetunmuted@gmail.com. Letsgetunmuted@gmail.com. Or support Unmuted. There you go. She's wearing a shirt, Unmuted. Support Unmuted by purchasing my book, Unmuted, Overcoming Silence and Finding Freedom, on Amazon. Or support the podcast by buying me a coffee. Just send me a Zelle to the world Unmuted. Zelle me to the world Unmuted. Before I get off this live, I need to see some Zelle coming through for Unmuted. All right. And also watch the full episode. If you missed this live, watch the full episode on YouTube. Like, comment, and share. And feel free to join the conversation. And now make sure to grab your copy of Silent Battles. I have my copy right here. Make sure to grab your copy of Silent Battle. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.com. All right? This book is amazing. You will learn a lot. You will gain a lot of strength. You will learn the meaning of resilience. And what truly matters is that she is here to tell her story. Not everyone can tell that story, but she is here to tell her story. So, Danisha, let everyone know where they can find you if somebody wants to follow you. Give them your social.
Okay, well, you can follow me. I have a website, www.silentbattles.org. My Instagram is author Daneshia Drakeford, and my Facebook is Daneshia Drakeford _Hatwood.
Okay, you got it? All right. And you can also Google her.
Yes.
I tell people all the time, if you don't remember, Google the person. If you remember her name at least, just Google her. Google will give you everything plus more. Don't believe everything because she's not married no more. I'm not married no more. We are single. So maybe Google don't know that yet. And she's not ready to date, but I'm ready to date. So Google don't know that yet. And I'm also dating more than one person at a time, just so y'all know.
Yes.
No commitment. The right person will do the right thing.
The best man wins.
The best man wins. Mr. Unmuted is somewhere looking, and I'm here waiting for him. Girlfriend, well, I had so much fun with you today. I hope I make your day better.
Yes, you did.
Because
Thank
you
you so much.
definitely make mine better.
Yes, the pleasure was all mine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I enjoyed my time. Thank you. Bad start, good ending. And yes, let's go out there and conquer the world. Like we
Let's
said,
go.
silent
Unmuted.
battles meet unmuted. Unmuted
Silent
meet silent
battles meet
battles.
unmuted. Yes. We are here, girl. I got you. I got you. I got you. Thank
All
you.
right.
See you again on the other side.
All right. Have a good night, hon.
Okay, good
Take
night,
care.
baby.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Tell her
Bye-bye.
how you love her. Now go follow the woman and buy her book.
Yes.
Okay, guys, thank you. I had so much fun with you all. Everyone that tuned in, so much fun. Every Sunday, I stay here with proud to share my story and to allow others to share their own. But now, I'm going to leave here. But don't forget to follow me on all of my social media and look out for everything I have new coming. Until next time, stay encouraged and stay unmuted.